Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5th Detail Media Podcast. I'm your host, George, and today joining me are...
James Hellman.
Jason Reed.
So the first thing we're going to discuss is... Jason, you brought this one up. Square Enix is working with Disney and the Avengers for a new IP. What's all that about?
You mean Marvel?
Marvel, well,
Yeah.
Avengers,
Disney
on an
owns Marvel.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
Okay.
Screw you.
But but we don't say Disney's name. We say Marvel.
Yeah, but Disney has the money to make Marvel's dream
Disney's the
come true.
bigger company.
That's true. But Marvel.
Splitting heads.
Yeah. So there might actually be a decent Marvel game at some point.
So do we know much about it? Is it going to be like a fighter, like Marvel vs. Capcom, or is it going to be a story-based thing?
I think it's going to be story based in the world of the Marvel universe. I'm not sure if it's going to be cinematic universe or not. They haven't really revealed too much yet. Just the fact that they're working together. So.
Yeah, so it's still early days. But no, something like that, especially coming from a studio like Square Enix working with Marvel, I think that could be a really good game. Like, we've seen a lot of interesting stuff come from Square Enix. So
I mean, we haven't really seen such a big partnership in quite a while as well, between like a video company and a video game company.
Well, as it's the Avengers, I would make the assumption that it's going to be a multiplayer game, whether on the single console or whether over the online area, which most games are now.
If it's coming out post 2016, it's probably a multiplayer game.
Yeah. What are you saying about our game, huh?
Our game's not a multiplayer game,
Well, exactly.
but it's also not a AAA game.
Well, I suppose you got a point there.
yeah, but as we spoke about last week, 2 weeks ago, they're cutting down on all the AAA games, scalebound. What we discussed last week. So
No, Microsoft is
Well,
cutting
yeah.
down on the AAA games.
Microsoft's just cutting down.
well, yeah.
Hopefully one day they will shut down. I mean,
But it does seem that while Microsoft is shutting down a load of projects, it seems that other companies like Disney are increasing on theirs. They seem to be blowing everything
Disney
out
are
of the
just
water.
buying everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm surprised that we haven't heard that Disney's bought Scalebound or something like that. That wouldn't actually surprise me.
It surprised me actually that Disney's going into making or funding or supporting making a game with one of their IPs, because when it came to Star Wars after they bought LucasArts, they said they shut down absolutely every game that was being made currently by LucasArts because they didn't want to go there.
Yeah, but then that could just be because they were completely ripping apart and resewing the Star Wars universe. So
Yes, this is true.
they now
destroy it,
have
but I mean,
the
they did
choice
change
of.
it a bit.
But Disney and Square Enix have worked together before. They made the Kingdom Hearts.
Of course.
Something that, like, I just remembered, so I looked it up, and it's Square Enix that did Kingdom Hearts. So, they have worked with each other technically before. I know Marvel is a subcategory of Disney, but I think it could be really good. Like, judging off Kingdom Hearts and what they managed to achieve with that, I think it could be... And that was basically using a lot of the
it
Disney...
can work.
Yeah, it was using a lot of the Disney characters and, Disney settings and things like that. So, yeah.
I think the safest way to go is not make it too similar and don't make it too different. Like, it still needs to be as appealing as the cinematic universe, but in terms of like what the actual story is going to be, I don't think it should be too close, because then it has more potential to anger fans.
Yeah, it needs the story of the game needs to be very much separated from the cinematics, but at the same time being relevant to the cinematics. Then you're not just playing the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a movie game like comes out with. Well, it used to come out a lot more, but then I think people started to realise that they suck.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
That's because if you go out and watch the movie and then come back and play the game, you're playing the same story over and over again. And a lot of the times, unless it's a really, really good film, you're not going to go back and watch it anytime soon. You might go out and watch, Star Wars, but that's because they were spot on.
Star Wars.
They were Star Wars, but,
I think
name a film recently that you've gone out and watched twice recently.
Star Wars.
Yeah. But anything else? You know, it's exactly you
Nah.
can't. You
Define
can't
going out and watching a film.
Or fine, just just watching a film.
Oh,
Watching a
then-
film that you've watched recently, that you've watched previously not too long ago.
I would love to say one, but I haven't, shamefully.
You're gonna
I
say Lord of the
have.
Rings, but even
It
still,
just-
there's something that sticks up to history.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm talking about just general film that maybe doesn't have the budget behind it as something like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Aragon.
Huh? Yeah, but that was
Aragon.
tragic.
The only example that I've ever seen in my entire life where the film was actually following the books less than the game.
Yeah.
The game followed the books closer. The book closer.
I think the
Even
last
film did.
video game of a film even that I actually played was Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube,
Spider-Man 2 was actually pretty good.
which
Yeah.
was a good game. I enjoyed that, but I think
Spider-Man
that's
game was
because I
pretty
didn't really know what good games were back then.
You were just
Favorite
enjoying
Spider-Man game is Web of Shadows.
I enjoyed the first Spider-Man game.
And
Like, I don't know
all
why
I
that
remember
was-
from Spider-Man game 2, or Spider-Man 2 the game, was my balloon, and you just have to go off and find this kid's balloon every 5 minutes.
I remember that. Jeez.
Spider-Man,
that, yeah.
find my balloon.
It's like Spider-Man got better shit to be doing.
It's a ball that kid.
But yeah, so I think we'll move on. Yeah, Jason, another topic. You've been the topic man this week. Portal
every
co-creators working with EA on a Star Wars Battlefront campaign. So still on the whole Disney overarching theme, but
Yeah, and also a new IP with EA, which we don't really know about. And it could be the one that they've just talked about recently, which is due to release Q4 of 2018.
yeah. So we're still looking at
Yeah,
2.5
a couple
or
of years
1.5
off. But it's supposedly an action game that's going to redefine action games.
But which studio is working on it?
That one is Bioware, but I'm not sure if that's the same one as...
Well, to be fair, every time Bioware do bring out a new IP, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So
Some
it'd
people are
be
just
interesting.
good at making games.
Yeah, and Bioware most definitely. If Bioware didn't have EA holding them back with a lot of things, and they could support themselves financially, so the EA wasn't around, I think they could do so much better.
I was going to say that creative freedom would just they could go wild, and I
Mm.
think they've got the team behind them to deliver on that wildness.
Brain fart.
Unless, of course, it is actually EA that seems to be giving them a lot of this, because I have heard that a lot of Mass Effect, for instance, Mass Effect project directors have left throughout the course of Andromeda.
Really?
Well, yeah, when it first got announced last year, their project manager just left and quit, and then had to be
Unexpectedly.
replaced. Although at the same time, the original writer for the original Mass Effect came back.
Probably because he could see where his beloved his work was going, and then was like, no, I need to sort that out. I can't be dealing with this no more.
According to certain sources, like Glassdoor, the working conditions in BioWare aren't the best, and
Well,
apparently that is due to EA. But then the work conditions in the EA are great.
So are they just saying that they're not getting enough money from EA?
I would say that's
But
the
it's
assumption.
it's a lot of crunch in BioWare, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, whereas a case of a normal studio day could be something like 9 to 5, even in a games company. But crunch is basically where you work from 9 and then you'll work until 12 at night, go home, sleep, and come back, and then do that for the rest of the week. And
If
then
that.
yeah, and then instead of having 5 days a week in the office, you'll have 7 days.
Yeah. And
Um,
quite a few nights.
yeah. Apparently, crunch is incredibly difficult. So I imagine having like an all year round crunch.
Well, just imagine the amount of pressure for the projects as well. It's such high-profile projects.
Yeah.
Unless you're Blizzard, and then you release a beta of the game, which is basically done, and you only have to release one patch, and then you can decide, oh yeah, we'll release it sometime around here.
Yeah, but they've got it behind. They've got all the experience and all the knowledge to say, right, build the game, get it good, then announce it, because we've got enough funds coming in from Warcraft or Starcraft or Diablo or all that, which means that they don't need to announce it beforehand to get the hype up, because you be like, oh, it's another Blizzard game. Yes, I'm buying that. Which I think everyone did. Everyone was like, got on the beta for a weekend, and then I think everyone went out and bought it outright.
I saw everyone else playing the beta, and I was like, I need to buy this. And then I was like, George, I need a lot of computer parts so I can
Which I
play
gave
this.
which I still want back.
And you don't play.
No, I don't have time.
Then make time.
He's got a point. He's got
Yeah.
a point.
I'll try.
If you have no time for fun, then what's the point?
I have fun in my work.
He's got a point.
If you're not having fun in your work, what's the point?
But while we're on the topic of Bioware, more Mass Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda. So we watched a couple of trailers before this. We recorded this podcast, and what does our expert Mass Effect man have? Bioware man.
BioWare, man. What
What does Mr.
do
Opinion
I have?
Because I mean, the first time we talked about it, which I think was on the first media podcast,
I think so. Yeah.
you were like adamant against it, and then you watched the trailer and you were like, yeah, I kind of like the look of it, and now you've gone back to this. It's not Shepard.
I've got such a grudge against it.
I think I'm watching. The problem is I'm watching too much of it. It's Halo Reach all over again.
Yeah,
Hype. Games out shit.
but it's not gonna be shit.
We said that about Reach.
Yeah, but
I gotta say.
Halo had a massive IP. I'd say just as big as, maybe bigger than Mass Effect. And when Reach came out, I mean, a lot of people liked it.
I enjoyed Reach.
I
But
liked
the general overview of it was you had to live up to Halo 3.
Yeah,
One of my big question was why did they have better technology back in Reach than they did in 3?
because it came out after.
Exactly. But it's plot holes, man. Plot holes.
Anyway,
Oh no, it was like the DMR and everything. It was like a concept kind of version of the gun, wasn't it? So it looked
Yeah.
different. It was
Still,
like the
apparently,
early.
Reach was the experimental planet, so they had a lot more advanced technology there, and it all got lost when the Covenant took over.
Bullshit.
Anyway, that's a loophole they cut off, and with no good reason. With Mass Effect Andromeda, I think I'm gonna have to play it to really, obviously, make a judgment. I mean, but the problem is I keep seeing all these trailers there, really trying to get you excited, and they're just not quite tickling my gooch.
See,
Is that just because you're a salty motherfucker?
I don't know. I
I'm
probably am. I miss my Shepard.
I still need
miss
to finish
Battalion,
2
but
and play
female
3.
Garrus.
I'm a
Female
raptor.
Garrus.
Yeah, but Garrus.
But Garrus.
But imagine a Garrus you could fuck.
He's got a point.
You can.
You just have to play a female.
Exactly.
I always play as a female.
Oh,
Exactly.
But what about female Shepard and female Garrus? Win-win. Anyway, because we watched the cinematic trailer before recording this. I got a couple of questions to ask. Like, who do you actually play as? Because it's never given you a this is who you are playing.
I
as.
think you're playing as Pathfinder.
I get the feeling they might change. They might have it as you get to choose between the brother or sister.
I was just going to bring that up.
Unless they take a bit of Dragon Age game mechanics into it and allow you to play as any of the characters in your squad.
Yeah.
But you've always got your main character, but you can play as the others sort
That
of
would
when
be
you're
cool.
out adventuring.
So I was thinking the twins would make more sense because, you know, with the female
Yeah.
shepherd and the male shepherd, they were the same character.
And then
basically.
something
You would
drastic can happen to their father, and it can all be a big plot point.
yeah.
The usual.
But, like, I think going off, because they were talking about being connected to the ship, it could be what you said, James, where, you know, you play as any of them, sort of thing.
I feel, did they do that in the latest Dragon Age?
No, they did that in all the Dragon Ages where you could. No, number 2 you couldn't. Could you?
No, you couldn't in 2.
But basically, whoever you had in your squad at the time when you were wandering around, you could just jump to them and control them instead.
That'd be
But
cool.
the-
Instead
but-
of just like calling out a skill shot kind of thing.
Yeah. But obviously, when it came to any dialogue or anything, you always jump back to your main character.
Yeah.
Be cool if they could, you know, you had that in Scalebound if they were to carry on with it, where you could just change to your dragon at any point. And then
That
play as
would
your
have been a
dragon.
good
That would have
mechanic.
been a cool
It
mechanic.
probably wouldn't have got cancelled.
I don't know.
But then it'd give you the godlike powers to make you feel too powerful, and then.
Yeah, but
then I suppose they
you're
just
a
make an
fucking
enemy,
dragon.
which is just
Yeah.
as. Just as
Other
powerful.
dragons.
Yeah.
But it's like in Scalebound, you're still a quote unquote god because you're controlling a dragon.
Well, no.
Well, quote unquote controlling.
And you've got some sick Beats headphones.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Why are we still talking about the game?
I don't
But
know.
it's
It's
dead.
cancelled. It's cancelled. It's gone. We'll go back onto Mass Effect Andromeda. But I kind of felt like it was a bit of a copy. Like a lot of what seems to be happening. Like, you know, you've got the grunt replacement. So the Krogan is your muscle, and you've got...
but I feel like you're not gonna get a smart Krogan. They can't. That's the race
I'm
stereotype.
sorry.
Yeah, but it seems
You're
like
not gonna get.
Grunt and Rex.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
cannot say
They're not
going
gonna
to
take the intellectual role in the party when there's Asaris and Taurians and humans there.
yeah, but I can
No, but they can
like,
take a bit more
it's-
comedic. Well,
I can just see the team structure being exactly the same, you know, as Mass Effect 2, for example.
I suppose they'd have to do that in a way to make people who have followed Mass Effect since it's been out
You.
feel like they're being welcomed back to the universe in some way. You know, they've got to do they've got to do something to make it connected to the original Mass Effect. Otherwise, they may as well just call it Andromeda.
Yeah, I do agree. But like,
Well, it's not called Commander Shepard game, is it?
Well, no,
Yeah,
neither were the
it's
originals.
Mass Effect. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Mass Effect. It's about the whole mechanic of
I think it's
Mass
just
Effect
because we
Drive.
look at it as sort of the Shepard trilogy
yeah.
that they can't make something new of it because people like you are going to look at it and say, yeah, but it's not Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3. So
Yeah, but I'm just saying is that as long as they don't disconnect it completely from the original universe, which I suppose they're not, but with the N7 and the general sort of design of things and the Normandy Make 3.
I think
love
the
the Tempest. I love the Tempest so much. It
It's
looks so
frickin-
much cooler.
You can see it is pretty
It's
much
just
a
the
Normandy.
Normandy.
Well,
with
yeah,
a few changes.
it's probably from the same
Dockyard.
manufacturers. It's like
um
it's like you see two Ferraris. You're like, it's just basically the same thing.
Although
that's a good point, actually. That's a really good
It's
point.
basically the same thing.
I must say I do quite like their sort of their go around of the fact of that they don't quite know about the Reapers and they're not really part of the military by saying, oh yeah, this entire thing was privately funded by a bunch of sources, and so
The elusive man.
so they never had a connection.
Elusive
with,
men
so
and
they-
women.
So they never had a connection with the military or the Shepherd side of things, just because it's privately funded, not part of the military at all.
Yeah, my hope is that they keep the beginning very close to what happened in Mass Effect 2. So they refer back to that, but then they sort of like sharply turn off, and then it becomes its own story.
So is this one after 2, before 3, or at the same time as 3?
This was just before number 2,
Just before number
so just after number 1, but just before Shepherd got resurrected.
2. Okay.
So around that exact same time, it sort of splits off.
I just realised I've got like a month to finish 2 and then play the whole of 3.
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
and
Not long.
and then
I think we're all going to get it and launch, aren't we?
with the Pathfinder project, they run off to Andromeda 600 years later. They wake up and hope to try and set up a foothold and eventually trade with, well, not trade, but send back a bunch of resources to the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I'm excited.
I'm looking
I
forward to
think
it.
what
I'm
they
really
want.
looking
I
forward
think
to it.
what they want to do is build, you know, the stations they've got. My theory here is that they're probably going to turn one of them into a Mass Effect relay, a massive one, and have one on the other end in the Milky Way, so they can instantly travel between Andromeda and the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Because the Citadel was a giant Mass Effect relay, which was supposed to allow the Reapers to be able to jump in from dark space.
Yeah.
So they could theoretically recreate it.
Yeah. Well,
Although
that's the thing.
they don't technically yet know about that when they send them off.
No, they do know about it because after number 1, they still know about it being a relay.
I thought they found that out in 2.
No, at the end of number 1. That's
Ah.
that's why Sovereign comes along and tries to take over the Citadel, and that's why they blow it up and all that.
Cool.
All right then. I think we're done on that front, aren't we?
probably.
So this podcast, if you're watching it on our website, is going live every Monday. If you're watching it on YouTube, we are releasing all podcasts from now on a day early on our website. So this podcast will be going live on the website on the 6th of February. And for our YouTube listeners, we'll be going out on the 7th.
You
Yeah.
kind of half repeated yourself there.
Hey? When?
Well, you got halfway
Yeah,
through
it's
it and then
George,
started
James.
again.
It's
It's me.
I had
It's
to
me.
point it out.
I know, because you're
This is
James.
me. Oh, and also, this podcast was recorded in front of a live audience.
Say hi, Warwick. All right, then.
guys.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week for the detail. We haven't come up with a name for it yet.
Podcast.
That one. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.